Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having an awesome day so far. I am Barbara Fralinger, and I am so excited right now because I am bringing on a guest. His name is Corbin Roush, and I don't know Corbin that well. I met him at our most recent convention event, but I know he and his wife, Holly, I know their story very well, and they are the master brand partners in our company, Viseo. And I just think that it's so important in a relationship for both people to be on board with dreams and goals, no matter what it is you're doing. And Corbin was one of those people who, he was very successful and his wife was very successful in their individual careers. But then when she saw something that he did not, he wasn't supportive at first. And he's man enough to admit that. And I'm going to bring him on camera, and I think it'll be so helpful for anybody out there who is struggling in a relationship with their spouse or significant other where they're just not on the same page. So with that, I am going to bring Corbin on. Hello, Corbin. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing this morning?
Good. Thank you so much for jumping on here real quick. I know you're busy and you're coming out here to the East Coast with Holly, and I just wanted my network to kind of meet you a little in advance, so that way if they want to come and see you guys in person next week, they can. But I love your story because you're one of the couples. Yes, I have struggled with this for so long with people in my organization over the years. I have some great, and with the organization I was with before was primarily women who were involved on my team. And they struggled so much because their spouses were 100% against their doing this. And it was one of those things where they saw it, but their spouse did not. And they really struggled because their husbands would really be antagonistic a lot of times in a way too, whenever it was taking some time away from them because they didn't believe in it and they didn't see what they saw. So you were one of those people, but you overcame. So I want to kind of like get a little bit of the background of your story with how Holly got involved and then how you got involved and how you were with her in the beginning.
Fire away.
All right, so go ahead. Give us.
Hey, I feel like I'm on trial.
No, this is for the good of humankind.
Well, fire away. You ask any questions you want, I'll be an open book to you.
Well, just tell me a little bit about how you got involved.
Okay. Well, it was right at 13 years ago, September 13th of 2005. It's funny how you remember dates. Sometimes I don't remember dates very well at all. My anniversary, birth dates, that type of stuff. But that date is always a day that rings in my head because it was the day that really our lives changed for good, but I didn't know it. Holly and I had both been hit up by numerous network marketing companies, just like we all have. There's an age where you get where, when you're young, you're a dreamer and you're going to go conquer the world. And then you start realizing what your allotment is in life. And this is my job. And this is my 401k package. This is my health care. Sometimes you get a company car and this is how much money you're going to make. So the ability to dream, like we have this, God-given ability to dream as we were children, to be anything we wanted, all of a sudden disappears. And that's kind of where we were in life. And all of our friends start talking, network marketing. Oh, we're all going to get rich. And so I just had this stereotype that was just not something I wanted to be involved with. I didn't want my family to be involved with. No one ever made any money at it. No one had success. All the stereotypes that we hear. So probably the only couple in the world that could ever get me even to think about it would be my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. At the time, he was one of the top PGA golfers in the world. Very, very successful, has now got career earnings in the 50s and $60 million. Why is this guy talking network marketing? And you know, what I went on to find out over time was most successful people, all successful people, have multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the uneducated people that believe just going to work 40 hours a day, 40 hours a week for the rest of your life is going to create financial freedom. It's just not going to happen. Well, I didn't know that. I was working corporate America and had a good job, and he comes over and hits us up, and I just said, over my dead body, no way, not going to happen. That's not, you know, my friends are going to think I'm broke. I've worked too hard. I worked too many hours. Not going to happen. And Holly agreed with me for about 3 days. She likes to say she was a submissive wife. Let me tell you something. She's never been submissive in her life. And I'm not going to let her start making these claims that she's some submissive wife. But she did come to me after a few days looking into it and researching it. And kind of what's funny is, you know, this was 13 years ago. Facebook wasn't around. Google might have just been, you know, the search engine of choice was AOL,
Mm-hmm.
is how
Mm-hmm.
long ago this was.
Wow.
And there wasn't a whole lot of stuff out there on the company. There wasn't a whole lot out there that on the product. You just couldn't find things back then.
Mm-hmm.
But she came to me and said, hey, look, what if we don't do this and some of our friends say yes, and in a few years they're making millions of dollars, and that could have been us. How sick are you going to be? And I said, fine, you go, girl. Go prove me wrong. I'll give you 2 months. You'll quit, and I'll never have to hear about it again. And she decided the best form of revenge is total success. And she was going to go prove me wrong. And the best thing that she did is she heard there was a guy speaking. And this goes to everyone that's getting ready to see us. Hopefully come see us. Everyone that's watching this video and going to watch this video, you need to come hear Holly and I's story when we're up in the Northeast next week. Because Holly hopped in a car, drove 3.5 hours to go hear from a guy that was one of the tops in the company we were with. But on top of that, he'd made over $100 million in a 30-year career in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to go learn from the so-called expert. And she went down there and she heard a guy that barely had a high school degree, was a never went to college, ex-surfer, ex-drug dealer, kind of like a dreg of humanity, if you would. And he's talking about duplication. He's talking about a system. He's talking about his story. He's sharing what the industry has been able to do for him. And it got Holly excited. So she's taking notes the whole time and bullet pointing stuff that made sense to her. And she decided, as she was saying there, she goes, well, I got a marketing degree. I can do this better. And then the light bulb went off for her. She says, if a guy that barely has a high school degree, he was actually a high school dropout, can make millions of dollars at this, I need to do everything that guy's doing and not duplicate, try to reinvent the wheel. I just need to duplicate. So she took all his bullet points. She came home and created her own flip chart. Back then, PowerPoints were just getting going. She had a PowerPoint, she had a flip chart, but she created something that could duplicate every night of the week and every day during the day. You know, we talked when she first got started, one night a week, let's keep some balance in this. Well, she outsmarted me and said, I'll do it during the day. She was a stay-at-home mom. A lot of her friends were stay-at-home moms, and they would, quite honestly, meet at 10 in the morning and invite all their friends over, and they'd be in their workout clothes. The kids would be dropped off at school or at morning daycare or whatever, and they'd talk about the opportunity. They'd go through that PowerPoint, go through the flip chart. And all of a sudden, the business started duplicating, and it was going on all over our city. And within 6 months' time, she's annualizing $500,000. And I'm like, you're going to jail. I mean, quite honestly, you're going to jail because that's an illegal pyramid. There's no way that this is going to, that the IRS is not going to flag us. We're in trouble here. And then I met Dallin Larson, and I got to meet a man that was a true visionary, that explained to me that it is not an illegal pyramid, that it is a non-traditional business that in time will become a traditional business. And I want everyone to understand that. Mm-hmm. Franchises 30 years ago were considered taboo, non-traditional. No one wants to do franchises. Mm-hmm. Today, or 13 years ago, MLMs, even though it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, people still look at it with kind of a sour face. Yeah. But that is changing because people are starting to learn about leverage, not only financial leverage, but leverage of time. And they're starting to understand exponential growth. And those are things that I did not understand, nor even took the time to try to understand when I was in corporate America, because I was an employee. I went in, I did my job, I went home, I had the amount of money I made, and that's kind of how things worked. And so when I met Dallin and started hearing about exponential growth for the first time, and about leveraging time, and about a dream that whatever you want in life can happen through this industry if you're partnered with a five-star company, partnered with a true company, a legacy company, because the problem in our industry is 10,000 of these companies get launched every few years and 9,999 of them fail because they don't have an entrepreneur like Dallin Larson running the company. They have an entrepreneur that was in real estate, or he was in health and wellness, or he was in some space, thought he could launch network marketing, and he has no idea how to. Donald Trump tried to do network marketing and it failed miserably. So to believe that we have a guy that's taken two companies to $1 billion, and I'm sitting on a beach with him when he's just starting his second company, and he's talking to me about private planes and seeing the world, made my eyes knock the scales off my eyes and made me realize there's more out there. And if I'm willing to go to work and get busy and fit this into my free time that I had, the sky could become the limit. I mean, as high as I wanted to go could happen. I remember sitting around thinking, my gosh, one day I'm going to make 100 million in this industry. I'm not there yet, but I'm approaching 20 million. And it's like, are you kidding me? And I'm partnered with some of the most amazing people like yourself that are saying, I want this bad. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to follow a system. And so I got busy right at 12 years ago, working my full-time job. I worked this as much as I possibly could, following the system, getting in homes, doing the things that were needed. And within a year and a half's time, I was able to walk away from corporate America. We've helped 187 people now become millionaires teaching this system. We've personally made 15 to 16 million approaching now, and we're just getting started. I mean, we're babies in this industry, and this company is an infant company. But here's what I want everyone to understand that's out there looking. I know you don't know me, you know Barbara, but here's what you got to understand about this company. Dallin Larson won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award for the United States. Jeff Bezos won that award, and a guy by the name of Michael Dell won that award. They don't give that award to chopped liver. They give that award away to a true entrepreneur. The guy's been a part of two companies that have gone on to do billions of dollars in sales in a space where only 11 companies have ever done that, and he's been a part of two of them. As we are a startup company, we're not your traditional startup company because we have a CEO that is from this space that commands billion-dollar respect. And what that means is our product line, guys, is the product line of a billion-dollar company. Startups do not have this technology, these ingredients, and a scientist like we do that is putting it together. A startup company is smoke and mirrors, lotions and potions, and hopes and a dream. It is not true science backed by a true scientist, backed by proven delivery. We've got the most amazing products.
Right.
When we go to manufacturers and negotiate, they're giving us billion-dollar company pricing. And that's what people need to understand. What Dallin Larson brings to the table as a startup is unheard of. That's why we set a record our first year launching this company. But we're still in an infancy stage. We have not hit what's called mass momentum. We are in pre-momentum. We're at that very beginning stage where people like yourself, I mean, we have amazing leaders. I believe Rick Gutman is your upline.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is he your personal sponsor?
He is my personal sponsor. He stole me from another company.
But he knocked the scales off of your eyes, is what he did.
Well, he did, because you know this industry, there's so much. We struggle so much in the industry anyway. If people can see something that not everybody sees, and if you don't understand the real business acumen and how to explain it the same way that like you struggled like to see it, because you didn't really look at the business model, because you weren't really aware of the whole financial education piece of this. And when I saw Rick talking about all the problems in network marketing, retention and duplication, I built a six-figure income in my previous company, but I was struggling. I was constantly rebuilding, and the duplication was not happening. That was over 4 years. I would work my ass off, but I couldn't find the people that would stick around long enough to see the vision of that. And when he started talking about the business school and the financial education part, I thought, this is so much. It was an eye-opening thing. I'm like, because it's so much bigger than a product. It's so much bigger than even just the business model. It's educating people about how to live their life in a way that's going to make them carry out whatever it is that they want to do eventually. And, just talking to him, and I don't know. Yes, he stole me, but
Well, I still don't know what business acumen means. I hear that a lot. That's one of those words I'm going to have to go look at. I'm just a simpleton from Oklahoma, but I know this. Successful people want multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And retention is the key. But let me teach you, and Rick will back me on this one. You want to know how to retain people? You love on them, and you appreciate them.
Yes.
And you educate them, and you pour into them. And you make, so many people get network marketing thinking they're going to get rich. Mm-hmm. And that can happen. But if you change the way you think about it from, I'm going to get rich and I'm going to show people a way that they can take their financial future into their own hands, it's a trickle up effect. Mm-hmm. The more people I can get to see this opportunity for what it truly is, teach them leverage, teach them about it's not, the system duplicates, people do not.
Right.
You got, and show them that it's the community. People are going to quit. I don't care what happens. People get divorces. People quit on their kids. People quit jobs. People quit church. People quit. Mm-hmm. We're quitters by nature. But if we can give people an avenue where they feel like they're being taught, where they feel like they're learning, and they feel like they're part of that community, man, they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
They don't want to. And that's what Holly and I built and Rick built in our previous company. Mm-hmm. We had the highest retention. We had the largest North America team. And it was because we built it the right way. We built it with educating people. We built it by teaching a system that duplicates. Like I talked about from the very beginning with Holly, is it's got to duplicate. It has to duplicate. If it does not duplicate, people are going to get involved. They're going to get excited. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to quit. And they're going to tell twice as many people how bad their experience was than they would ever tell how great their experiences was.
Yeah.
And that's a problem with it. And Rick's become an expert at it. And I'm so proud of him with the team he's putting together with his financial literacy piece. I still got to learn what business acumen, how do you say it?
Acumen.
Acumen. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna learn it.
Well, basically, we're coming from it as network marketing professionals rather than coming at it like, the 98% of people in other companies that are leading with, product or something else. We're coming at it from a place of business professionals, that we're talking that to other people.
Right.
So, and it's, it makes it,
I'm just teasing you. I didn't know what that word meant. I know.
Well, but you know what? There could be people in my network who don't. So I realize you were probably teasing. But that's the truth, and as a professional, I taught college courses for over 13 years. And this is something that is non-traditional. I come from a family of professionals. There's 2 lawyers in my family, jewelry store owner. I have my sister, she's the head of an art gallery, a very successful one. She's like their top salesman. And, it's not even she sees it because it's right there in front of her. But this is something that people can't see because it's sort of an invisible franchise. And when you can't fathom it in your mind because you haven't been taught, or given the education to really see it, it's difficult for people to want to, invest in something like that because they just don't see it concrete in front of them, So that's why,
Right. That's exactly where I was. I did not.
Because you were very concrete. You were in sales, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. And so was Holly, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think made her see it? Just the fact that it was brought to her by a family member?
No, I think she was at a point. At this point, she was a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
She, when our second child was born, she walked away from pharmaceutical sales, and the boys were 3, 6, and 9, and she was wanting something of her own.
Mm-hmm.
But what she saw was a potential of a what if, and I don't believe she ever truly believed in those first few months that she would do what she was capable of doing.
Yeah.
I think she thought, I'll make enough money to pay for the products and have my own fun money. We
Mm-hmm.
used to laugh and say her goal was pedicures and manicures when she first got it. Pay for my products and be able to pay it, do as many pedicures and manicures in a month that I possibly could.
Right.
And
Right.
it was how it changed. So what she saw in it was the financial piece, but what she also saw in it, and this is critical as you're looking for companies, as people are looking at network marketing, she found a sexy product line of health and wellness.
Yeah.
Because it's tough for her. It would be tough for her, and it would be tough for me if I was selling toilet paper, if you would, or household goods, or water filters, or all, makeup, skincare. Those are things that is not, for me, sexy.
Right.
I can't get up in front of women and say, well, I put on my base this morning, and it's just, that's just not going to be me. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And so as Holly saw an amazing product line and saw the ability to make money part-time with still being able to be a mom, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect business for me and all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she approached it.
Right.
Was, look, we can make some money, we can have some fun, and we can get healthy. What part of those three do you not want? Mm-hmm. And everybody jumped in business. She didn't become the expert on the product. She didn't try to become a scientist or a doc. She couldn't even tell you the ingredients of the company, mm-hmm. product. It was just, hey, we're going to get healthy. We're going to have some fun. We're going to make some money.
Right.
Boom. Out of those, something's going to appeal to somebody.
Right. So,
and was able to get there.
So, like, you as the spouse watching all this happening, what was your perception in the beginning? And like, did you just feel like, I'm just going to stay out of it because it's her thing? Or were you actually antagonizing her? Like, how did it go between you? Like, how did your marriage survive her doing it against your wishes, kind of? Like,
well,
you,
I would
not
I
against your wishes,
my wishes is strong.
Right.
That's probably a little stronger than what it was. But there was nights where I'd had a tough day at work, and I came home and Holly's running out the door to go to a meeting or having a meeting at our house. Mm-hmm. And I was very irritated, and she was really smart about, if I brought up the business, she would talk about it. But if I did not bring it up, she would not talk about it. Okay. Meaning she respected the position I was in. There are days I'd come home from work and all I wanted was a beer and ESPN.
Yeah.
And she knew, those were the days. We're not going to go out and talk about all the people that joined and how much fun she's having and how many meetings are going on. But there was days I'd come home and be like, hey, how's so-and-so doing? You guys having some meetings? What's going on? How many people joined today? There was days like that, but she did just an amazing job of balancing it. My problem was not so much I was against the industry at this point because I knew she was having success. It was trying to find the balance as I worked a lot of hours. Mm-hmm. And when I came home, I didn't want in walks dad, out walks mom. Right. I wanted balance. I wanted to be able to have, that family time. When I came home, let's shut off the phones for a few hours and just spend time together. And Holly was amazing at that. And that's where I'd catch her sometimes, though, in the closet. She wrote a book about it. She'd be in the closet. She'd be, out on the picking weeds in the front porch, with one of those back then. The earpieces weren't those little bitty hidden ones. They were the big old Dr. Spock ones. Yeah. She'd be out there on her Bluetooth talking on the phone. But it was because people were excited and people were talking and they were fired up, and I had to respect that. But it was a process. So for all the guys out there, know this, they're just trying to take some of the stress off.
Yeah.
You know, if you're, here's what I encourage the ladies out there that are watching this is if you're, first of all, you need to do your home views. You need to be able to expose this to your friends in a way that's face to face, belly to belly. This is a non-traditional business, but the simplicity of this business has made more millionaires than any other business out there. And it's basically following the same rules. And that is, it's a belly to belly, face to face relationship business.
Yeah.
So as you're doing your events, and you keep them short, you keep them sweet, to the point, have your spouse with you. Mm-hmm. Try to get your spouse to come with, hey, come support me tonight. Because it does get where if it's just women, it can take on sometimes, and it's not a slam on women, this is just my experience in it,
yeah,
is it can become just a feel-good, product-driven, isn't this, you know, the most amazing stuff ever? But when you got a balance of men and women, it becomes like what you were talking about, more business focused. You're going to attract more business-minded people. It gives a little more, and that's not saying women can't do that. I don't want to get myself in trouble here, because Holly's really good about making it about the business from day one. She followed her mentor. She followed the guy that had success, and he didn't get bogged down in, like you were saying earlier, leading so heavily with the product that it became a product-driven company, because then you just get a bunch of customers. She was really good on leading with the product, but immediately transitioning to the business. Mm-hmm. And that's the magic right there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And this is my whole thing, is that when men and women in this industry work together, it's like amazing, you know. And you see that
you double your prospects.
What's that?
You double your prospects.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I mean, and that's the other part of what I saw even in our team, the Overcome Nation team, is that we have so many men and women. And that's, mm-hmm. I think, the reason why we're probably the top team right now. And we're, you know, because we have come at it at a point where men can see it from a business perspective. Women see the business, but they feel that culture and community. And that's, you know, very important to women. That is, they need to feel part of something. And both really thrive from the education. And I really think that's the key. And the fact that, like, in this industry, my mentors prior to this have been mostly women, and mm-hmm. and they were phenomenal. But having that different perspective, it's really challenged me to grow in a different way, you know, in this company. And I'm so much more confident. It's just, and that's what I really want all the men out there to realize, like, how much you have an impact on women. Like, when you say, like, wind beneath my wings, it's so true. Wind beneath my wings. Like, if a man is supporting a woman in that way, there's really, like, both of them just explode, you know? Yeah. And they don't realize how important that is to a woman. Like, you know, I mean, women can be very, very strong on their own. We are. But it's like when we have that additional piece, it's like we go, you know, into the next, you know, we orbit, you know? So, and that's why I really, really want the men out there.
That's when Holly and I's business took on a whole new deal. And I'm not taking away from anything she did, because she was making six figures, mid six figures, before I even did anything. But when we became united and together did the meetings, not, you know, I don't want people to think all of a sudden I just walked in and, you know, just rode her coattails. I was out as many times as I possibly could, meeting with people, one-on-ones, one-on-twos, home meetings, whatever I possibly could when I bought into this. But our business at that point went from good momentum to hyperdrive momentum. Our meetings went from 90% women to 50% women. It just really added a whole nother piece, and that's what took us to the third highest rank in that company, third highest level in that company. Having never done it before, was when people were like, wow, this truly is, like you were saying at the beginning, this truly is a business. This isn't a feel good. This isn't just a, you know, a lot of, there's different types of network marketing. There's your home-based parties where you bring in a bunch of your goods, You do an introduction on them, and at the end of the night, you try to sell through all the goods you brought in. That's a home-based business,
Right.
basically, or a home party business. And then there's what we do, which is we come in and we educate on business, on the products, on the system, and then we give people the opportunity to buy the products directly from the company or become business builders. And that's where, to me, that's where your eyes open up and like, holy cow! So you're telling me I can make an extra $50,000 a year on the side doing this, $100,000 a year on the side? Yep, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I got a guy right now in my group that is 9 weeks into this. He's had experience in the industry, but he's not going after, he's going grassroots, 100%, not recruiting other company people. He's building with his neighbors and his friends. And he has now just hit Ruby in 9 weeks in this, building, again, grassroots, no big group moved over. And he's making about $2,500 a week to $3,000 a week. Guys, that's $150,000 of income within 9 weeks. Now, that's rare, but that can happen for you.
Yeah.
If you follow the system.
Right.
If you jump in with a sense of urgency and get busy talking to everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
That's unheard of. I mean, come on. You can't go to your boss and say, I want $150,000 a year raise. I'm going to give you a couple more hours a day.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you so much. And Corbin and Holly are going to be here in the Northeast. They're going to be in South Jersey on Monday, October 1st. Going to be in North Jersey Tuesday, and in Danbury, Connecticut on Wednesday. So thank you, Corbin, so much. So if you want to, if you want to come out and see Corbin and Holly, and I just loved you guys at the convention. I thought you presented amazing, and definitely all the couples out there, if you have a skeptical spouse, or maybe they're kind of not on board, get them to the meeting. Just get them educated, because even if they don't want to be a part of it, they should know what you're doing, so that at least they can help if needed, right? So education.
If you love your wife, support them.
Right.
If you love your husband, support him.
Exactly. So thanks so much for taking the time today, and I will see you next week.
Which one are you coming to?
I will be there on Monday.
Awesome.
Yes.
I look forward to meeting you
in
in person.
Yes, and I have some people, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, great. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.